Denver Broncos face the Buffalo Bills in Saturday's AFC Divisional Round game. The big concern is keeping Josh Allen where they can find him, in the pocket. They want to limit to what defensive coordinator Vance Joseph called the second act explosives. When Allen gets free, when he gets off schedule, he keeps his eyes up and the big plays happen for the Bills offense. Broncos want to keep him in the pocket, contained, and away from the scrambles. And the defense that led the league with 68 sacks and the defensive end that led the league in quarterback hits and Zach Allen believe if they can handle that mission, they improve their chances to go to the AFC Championship game.
Superman and Wolverine. That's how Buffalo Bills tight end Dawson Knox referenced to me quarterback Josh Allen's ability to stay on the field despite injury. Now that'll be on full display in Denver as Allen's dealing with a variety of injuries, but was a full participant in both Wednesday and Thursday's practices. And he actually said to start the week that he feels better than he has in some time. Now this is a very confident locker room going into this game, but the Bills wide receiver room took some hits as both Tyrell Shavers and Gabe Davis tore their ACLs in last week's win versus the Jaguars. This is already a wide receiver room that's received a lot of criticism, and Allen expressed his confidence in guys stepping up. When I asked for wide receivers coach Adam Henry about the group, he said, "You can say a lot of things, but we've won 13 games."
I can't argue with 13 wins. Football analyst Louis Riddick is with us now this morning. So let's start, Louis. Bills, Broncos. What's the matchup that you're eyeing in that one?
Well, I think obviously this is all about Josh Allen. This is really his moment to really kind of cement his, well, I don't want to say cement his legacy because obviously they want to get to the Super Bowl first and foremost. But considering all the things he's working against, the report just now about the fact that no Gabe Davis, no Tyrell Shavers going up against this defense that really sports the third best pass rush win rate. They're going to absolutely harass you when it comes time for you to throw the football. And they give up less than 3.9 yards per rush on the ground. And Buffalo has been a football team that's one of the very best at running the football on the ground. So they're up against it, whether it's putting the ball in the air and trying to produce explosives, Randy, or really when it comes down to James Cook trying to run the football. So that means this, as Vance Joseph mentioned, it's those second reaction explosives, meaning when the play goes off script, that's where Josh is going to be at his best, and he's up against it. He's working with a short week. They're traveling once again on the road out there in Denver in altitude. There's a lot of things that are working against him. But look, this is a guy who has kind of risen to the challenge time and time again. And he, along with, remember this name, the name Joe Brady, their offensive coordinator there in Buffalo, they're going to have to be at their very best to keep this raucous Denver defense and that crowd, kind of tamed as this game goes along. Because this is the kind of game that can get out of hand, especially when you're talking about a defense that can pressure you in all the different ways that Denver's defense can.
Yeah, let's go over to Niners Seahawks, the third time these two teams will be meeting this season. So, Louis, what matchup will you be watching in that game?
Yeah, really, this is about the coaches, the play callers. I mean, both head coaches are the primary play callers on their particular side of the ball that they have kind of risen through the ranks on. Kyle Shanahan on offense versus Mike McDonald, the Seattle Seahawks head coach on defense. Look, Kyle is one of the very, very best as far as taking whatever he has at his disposal and being able to still create explosive plays in one of the most dangerous offenses in the NFL. They were number 4, I believe, in the NFL, producing plus 10-yard explosives this year. And Brock Purdy is a guy who's not afraid to push the ball down the field. On the other hand, though, Mike McDonald and this Seattle defense, they're number 1 in the NFL at preventing 10-yard explosives. So you're going to have to earn every single thing that you get against this football team. And when you're talking about injuries, what team has been more beat up than the San Francisco 49ers? There hasn't been one in the NFL that has dealt with a laundry list of injuries like this football team has. But these are two of my favorite coaches to watch because they're just so disciplined and they're so innovative in the way in which they attack on their respective sides of the ball. This is a great matchup. Do not count San Francisco out. Kyle's one of the very best. This will be must-see TV.
Yeah, the Niners and Seahawks, they split that series this season. We'll see who gets the win when it matters most at this point in the season. Louis Riddick with the latest. Thanks so much, Louis.
But had a bit of an oblique issue that flared up on Thursday. So he took himself out of practice. Backup Drew Lock took some of those snaps. That was more precautionary. That's my understanding. The 49ers fully expect Darnold to go, and they expect him to play well. So they know they have to hit him and hit him often in the pocket to have a chance here. 49ers are beat up as well. They have had issues really for the last couple months, including Fred Warner with the foot issue, has been out multiple months. He was hoping after getting on the practice field this week that he could make his return, but he was declared out for the divisional round against Seattle. If they can make it to the NFC title game, there is hope in that building that Warner can be back there and playing. He did create a little bit of an emotional lift this week during practice. That was nice. Then you got the Bills. They're finally getting whole again on defense with Ed Oliver, big defensive tackle. He's been out a couple months, bicep issue. He's been activated off injured reserve, ready to go. Linebacker Terrell Bernard is questionable. Running back Ty Johnson also questionable. His status is up in the air right now, but Oliver back. Yeah. That's good news.
All right, a couple games to keep an eye on. Obviously tomorrow in the Rams in Chicago, bitterly cold weather. There's a health issue with both DJ Moore and Rome Odunze. What more can you tell us there?
Yeah, so Moore is good, had a knee issue, so he's trending up. He's off the injury report. They rested him early in practice, but he was full on the last day of practice this week, so he will be there for Caleb Williams, big-time target. You see him there. The bigger question is Rome Odunze. He's been dealing with like a foot sprain for really the last 6 weeks. They sat him for a couple weeks late in the season. He was back for the playoff game, played pretty well, but they wanted to rest him up. So he didn't practice a ton this week. He is listed as questionable. He does plan to go. This is the playoffs, Randy. You know how it is.
Sure.
Everybody's trying to go, locked in. Barring something unforeseen, he should be out there.
That's the thing about it being cold, right? If there's a positive to it, real feel about 4 degrees, you need ice. It's right there. You know what I mean? Just put that ankle out and it'll just ice in the air. That's just my medical opinion.
You can try that.
Yeah, that's Jeremy Fowler on SportsCenter.
Look way different than you did 10 years ago. Wait, that's me.
That is you.
But for Josh Allen's wife, she's probably more like, why y'all got to bring up old stuff? Like how in 2016, Haley Steinfeld was straight up repping the Broncos before, during, and after their Super Bowl win over the Panthers. Yes, the same team that Allen and the Bills faced Saturday for a spot in the AFC title game. But here's the deal. Haley grew up in L.A. when they didn't even have an NFL team, let alone 2. So best believe that Broncos allegiance went away real quick when she met her baby daddy.
There is a different kind of familiarity in this game.
Can't wait! Can't wait!
For the third time this season, the Seahawks and the Niners, they started the season against each other. They ended the regular season against each other. And this meeting will simply end someone's season. There may be some questions about whether or not Sam Darnold will be back in time to play. I don't think we have to question the love lost between these two teams, though.
I don't like the 49. I'm just straight up with it. Like, I don't like it.
Our producer, Oven, says he doesn't want to, write my material for me. He does often provide it, though. This is him this week. All I hear about is how the Patriots haven't played anyone this season. And yes, that is exactly how he sounds.
Spot on.
Also, fact, the Patriots did have the easiest schedule this season. What about the Texans, though? Glad you asked. Mid-pack, not the hardest, but Oven, also not the easiest.
2 things I learned very quickly during my 10 years in LA. Miles on the freeway do not equate to minutes, and seasons are vastly overrated. Residing in a place where 50 is considered cold is good living as far as I'm concerned, but those year-round ideal conditions may be the reason why Southern California teams have never fared well when their road to the Super Bowl runs through cold weather. Like the Rams will face Sunday night in Chicago, where it's going to feel like it's 0 degrees at kickoff. And for that reason alone, the Rams taking down the Bears this weekend feels as likely as leaving Hollywood at 5 o'clock and expecting to reach Santa Monica before the sun sets.
That ain't gonna happen. I would expect better acting skills, though, for someone who lives in LA, because I feel like that should actually be a prerequisite. So, when Sean McVay is asked if he's talked to his good friend Matt LaFleur, whose Packers played the Bears 3 times this season, who also has a brother, Mike, who is the Rams offensive coordinator. I don't know, fix your face, make the lie more convincing.
As a player, obviously, being in Green Bay, you got the Mike being on your staff, massive. He played them just 3 times this year.
Yeah. What would you guess? No, you know what? We watch the tape, we do our work, and, Matt is a very close friend of mine.
I want to play poker against him.
How's your poker face?
Feels like the guy who plays poker in the mirrored sunglasses.
How's your poker face?
Hell of a lot better than that.
You want to ask Notre Dame fans?
Weather up here in the Northeast today, perfect day to work a body groove into that couch. We got football on the brain and on the screen. The Bills heading to Mile High Stadium. They're going to do battle with number 1 seed Denver in their 2nd straight road game for Buffalo. Bills haven't won back-to-back road playoff games in more than 30 years. Later tonight, Seahawks hosting division rival San Francisco. Now, Seattle Sam Darnold questionable after tweaking his oblique on Thursday. Darnold saying that he, quote, felt a little something unquote, but that he will play. Sunday, Texans and that stout defense face off against Drake May and the Patriots in Foxborough. Houston's going to be without Nico Collins after he suffered a concussion Monday night right there in that cold turf in Pittsburgh. And wrapping up Sunday, Rams meeting the Bears. Windy City, Chicago. Temperature at kickoff anticipated to be 20 degrees. Real feel, 4 degrees. Los Angeles plays. All right, what to watch for today? NFL Divisional Playoffs are here. And first up, Bills Broncos, 4:30 Eastern time. Josh Allen in Buffalo. They won the wild card matchup a year ago, but after that, today it's 49ers and Seahawks. San Francisco's already won in Seattle this season. That was way back in week 1 for both of these divisional matchups. It's time to huddle up.
Sam Darnold told me he expects to play against the 49ers despite his questionable designation. Mike McDonald said the same thing, but the Seahawks coach did acknowledge the possibility that his Pro Bowl quarterback might be limited by the oblique injury he suffered while throwing during a routes on air period of practice on Thursday. That became another subplot to Darnold's quest to secure his first career playoff win after losing his playoff debut last January with the Vikings. Now, as for the pressure that comes with postseason football, Darnold is heeding his coach's message to players about treating this as any other week. But Darnold added, quote, "We don't get it twisted at all. We understand the implications of this game."
If the 49ers can beat the Seahawks on Saturday night, not only will they advance to the NFC Championship game, they could get linebacker Fred Warner back from the right ankle injury he suffered in October. Warner returned to practice this week, and though he wasn't cleared to play against the Seahawks, Coach Kyle Shanahan said he saw enough to feel confident that Warner could be ready to go next week if the Niners could win. In more pressing injury news, wide receiver Ricky Pearsall is listed as questionable with knee and ankle issues. Pearsall said he's expecting to play, but he may have to just be cautious in terms of what he does after the catch and in terms of blocking to make sure he doesn't aggravate either of those injuries.